Sup, junkies? Got a question for you. If you came up on a bag full of money, say $100,000, what would you do? Well, turns out if your answer was keep it, you're pretty fucking smart, according to this guy, Alex Weisner-Gross, who came up with this intelligence equation. And it always amazed me when I first read about this equation years ago. The solution of it was basically the force works to maximize all possible freedom of action in the future. In other words, if you're smart, you're not going to decide what you're going to do or right that instance. So let's break this equation down. You got F, of course, is a force. T stands for some sort of strength that you have, maybe your willpower, your resources. Maybe you're already rich and $100,000 ain't shit, so you just turn it in. S stands for all of the possible future things that you could do, period. And that little fancy T is tau, stands for time horizon, which basically means you have some sort of decision that you have to make by a certain time. Of course, most decisions are school-related or work-related, and there is an actual deadline. So Weisner-Gross said the longer you wait, the smarter you are, because you never know what's going to happen. New information presents itself all the time. So if you found a bag full of money, you're going to run right out and buy a car? Probably not a good idea. How are you going to explain that to the IRS? How about deposit it into the bank? You've been making $27,000 a year and bam, you pump $100,000 into your bank account. I'm pretty sure the bank's going to report you for that. So let's say you wait, you keep it, but we're not going to spend it. We're going to wait. Maybe it belongs to some mother who took up donations to get a surgery for her child's brain cancer. Maybe it's some old lady's retirement money that when she took out the trash, I don't know what the fuck she was doing with a bag full of money at the trash, but whatever, and she dropped it. How about, would you turn it in now? Would you give it over to that person? Do you believe in karma? I like to think most people would say yes. But what if you heard absolutely nothing? Well, if you went 6 months and you heard absolutely nothing, maybe it's drug money. Certainly, most people aren't leaving bags of money lying around unless it's an accident or some nefarious reason. So now let's say you decide to keep it. What would you do with it? Well, let me know in the comments. Because in general, the important part of this is you don't make a decision ever rashly in your life. You wait until you absolutely must make that decision. It is a sign of wisdom for sure. I wish I could certainly have gone back and seen this equation before I became an alcoholic and decided to become addicted to those terrible things, but certainly I know now, so I don't make decisions too rashly. Now for a little aside for you math geeks out there, what all this shit means. Mostly going to focus on that little sign right there, that little upside down triangle. That's a linear operator. No, fuck that. It's just an operator. And it's called del or nabla. And generally, if you're good at calculus, you might recognize it as the gradient in vector calculus. And the gradient, loosely defined, means, you know, if you're standing in a valley and you have to get to the top of the mountain, you know, the quickest way to the very top of the mountain would probably be to climb the steepest part of it. The slower ways would be to trek your way around because it's not as steep. And that's what the gradient does. It shows you the fastest way up or down something, even though you might die doing it. But in the end, that tells me that this is a vector, because generally when you have a nabla operator, the gradient operator, you're taking some function and you're turning it into a vector of partial derivatives. And because there's no dot product or cross product sign here, I'm assuming that this is a scalar that would indicate your strength, I guess. Or maybe it's even another function, some sort of function of your strength. Because certainly if you have a whole lot of resources, $100,000 doesn't mean shit. But wait, what if it was $1 million? What if it was $10 million? That might raise the stakes. But in any event, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching my very first video. Deuces.